Today, billions of cars travel across the world's roads. But have you ever wondered, what did the very first car look like when it was introduced to the world? Who was the first person to dream of creating a vehicle that could move on its own without a horse? And the biggest question, who actually invented the first car? The answer may be far more mysterious than you think, because the modern automobile was not invented by one person in a single day. Its story is the result of hundreds of years of experiments, failures, strange machines, and the dreams of several extraordinary inventors. Today, we're going back to a time when there wasn't a single modern car on Earth. Today, you can travel from one city to another within just a few hours. But several hundred years ago, things were completely different. People had to travel long distances on foot, on horseback, or in horse-drawn carriages. Traveling from one city to another could sometimes take several days or even weeks. And slowly a question began to emerge in people's minds. Is it possible to create a vehicle that can move on its own without a horse? This question eventually gave birth to the dream of the automobile. But at the time, this idea seemed almost impossible, because for a vehicle to move by itself, it needed one essential thing: a powerful engine. And at that time, no engine had yet been created that could produce enough power to move a vehicle along a road. In the 1700s, a French inventor attempted to create a vehicle that could move on its own without horses. His name was Nicolas Joseph Cugnot. Around 1769, he built a massive steam-powered vehicle. It looked nothing like the cars we know today. It was extremely heavy. At the front was a huge boiler, and the vehicle moved using the power of steam. Its speed was incredibly slow, but the importance of this vehicle was not its speed. It proved something remarkable. A machine created by humans could move on its own without the help of a horse. However, the steam-powered vehicle was not practical enough for everyday use. After that, many other inventors continued experimenting with self-propelled vehicles. Some used steam, others experimented with different types of engines, but the world was still waiting for a vehicle that could truly become practical for ordinary people. By the end of the 19th century, a new technology was rapidly developing around the world: the internal combustion engine. This type of engine made it possible to generate power by burning fuel inside the engine. Suddenly, inventors saw an entirely new possibility: a small engine, petroleum-based fuel, and four wheels. Could these three things be combined to create a vehicle that ordinary people could actually drive? Several European inventors began searching for the answer, and that's when one of the most important names in automobile history entered the stage. His name was Karl Benz. He was a German engineer and inventor. Around 1885, he created a vehicle that is widely recognized as the world's first successful, modern gasoline-powered automobile. Its name was Benz Patent-Motorwagen. But this vehicle looked nothing like today's Mercedes-Benz cars. Instead, it looked more like a strange three-wheeled horseless vehicle. And from this moment, the real history of the modern automobile was about to begin. 1885. In the German city of Mannheim, Karl Benz created a vehicle that looked nothing like the cars we know today. It had only three wheels, one wheel in the front and two in the back. The body of the vehicle was extremely lightweight, and at the rear was a small gasoline engine. But the most amazing thing was this: it could move on its own without a horse. Benz named his invention the Benz Patent-Motorwagen. In 1886, he received a patent for it, and that is why Karl Benz is often recognized as the father of the modern, gasoline-powered automobile. But there was still one major problem. People weren't ready to trust this strange new machine. At the time, when people thought of vehicles on the road, they thought of horses and horse-drawn carriages. The idea that a small engine could move a vehicle by itself seemed unbelievable to many people. Even after Karl Benz invented his automobile, it wasn't widely known. That's when an extraordinary woman played a crucial role in automotive history. Her name was Bertha Benz. She was Karl Benz's wife. In 1888, Bertha Benz decided that people needed to see what the new automobile was truly capable of. So she took her two sons and set out on a long journey in Benz's motorwagon. It was a historic journey of approximately 106 kilometers. Think about it. Today, traveling 106 kilometers in a modern car is completely ordinary. But back then, traveling such a long distance in an experimental three-wheeled vehicle was extremely dangerous. Along the way, the car faced several problems. Bertha Benz used her own creativity and intelligence to solve them. At one point, she even had to stop at a pharmacy to obtain fuel. That pharmacy later became known as the site of what is often considered the world's first gas station. Her journey proved something incredibly important. The automobile wasn't just a machine that belonged in a laboratory. It could actually be used in the real world. After Bertha Benz's historic journey, public interest in automobiles began to grow. Inventors across Europe started developing new types of cars. Some tried to make them faster. Others worked on smaller and more efficient engines. Some focused on making automobiles safer and more comfortable. Slowly, the automobile stopped being just an invention. It became an entirely new industry. Competition to build better cars began in France, Germany, Britain, and eventually the United States. But there was still one major problem. Cars were incredibly expensive. Ordinary people simply couldn't afford them. So the question became, how could automobiles be transformed from a luxury for the wealthy into everyday transportation for ordinary people? A few years later, another man from America would provide the answer. His name was Henry Ford. He didn't invent a completely new type of engine. Instead, he developed a revolutionary production method that made it possible to manufacture cars faster, more cheaply, and on a massive scale. And from that moment on, the automobile truly became a car for the people. At the beginning of the 20th century, the biggest transformation in the automobile industry began in America. At the center of this revolution was Henry Ford. Ford didn't invent the automobile, but he found the answer to one crucial question. How could a car be manufactured cheaply enough for ordinary people to afford it? In 1908, Ford introduced the Model T. The car was relatively simple, durable, and easy to operate. But the real revolution behind the Model T was its method of production. Ford's factories began using the moving assembly line, dramatically reducing the time required to build each vehicle. Instead of one worker building an entire car, each worker repeatedly performed one specific task. As a result, production became faster, costs went down, and gradually the price of automobiles became affordable for ordinary people. Cars were no longer just a luxury for the wealthy. Ordinary American families could finally own their own automobiles. As the number of cars increased, America itself began to change. In the past, people generally lived close to cities, but automobiles gave people much greater freedom of movement. People could live far away from cities and still travel to work every day. New roads were built. Highways appeared. Gas stations opened. Motels, restaurants, and new roadside businesses began to emerge. Even small towns became more important because of the automobile. The car also found a special place in American popular culture. It became a symbol of freedom, travel, and the ability to live life on your own terms. And this transformation didn't stop in America. Gradually, automobiles became an important part of everyday life across Europe and eventually around the world. The journey from the strange three-wheeled Benz Motorwagen of the 1880s to today's modern automobiles has been incredibly long. Early cars had none of the technologies we take for granted today. There were no modern safety systems, no air conditioning, no GPS, no computers, no airbags. In fact, many early cars didn't even have comfortable seats for the driver. But over time, technology continued to evolve. Engines became more powerful. Cars became faster. Safety technology improved. Then came automatic transmissions, advanced electronics, GPS, and computer-controlled systems. And now we're entering a completely new era. Cars are no longer just machines that take us from one place to another. Modern vehicles can recognize roads. They can brake automatically. They can park themselves. And in some cases, advanced technology can even allow vehicles to drive with little or no direct input from the driver. Now let's return to the original question. Who invented the first car? The answer isn't as simple as naming one person, because the automobile wasn't the invention of a single individual. From the earliest experiments with steam-powered vehicles, to the development of the internal combustion engine, to Karl Benz's Patent-Motorwagen, to Bertha Benz's historic journey, and later Henry Ford's mass production system, every step played an important role in the birth of the modern automobile. However, if the question is, who created the first successful modern gasoline-powered automobile? The answer is Karl Benz of Germany. And if the question is, who made the automobile accessible to ordinary people? then the name Henry Ford must be mentioned. Because one man played a crucial role in the birth of the modern automobile, while the other helped transform it into an essential part of everyday life. By the middle of the 20th century, cars were no longer just a means of transportation. They had become a part of everyday life. New automobile companies began appearing. Car design started evolving. Some companies created high-performance sports cars, others built luxurious vehicles, and some focused on producing affordable cars for ordinary families. In America, car culture became so popular that a massive highway network was built. New residential communities began developing outside major cities. People started taking long road trips, and gradually the automobile became a symbol of freedom. If you look inside a modern car today, you'll find technology that Karl Benz could probably never have imagined. GPS helps you navigate the roads. Cameras assist you when parking. Sensors detect obstacles in front of the vehicle. Computers control the engine and many other systems. And some modern cars can automatically slow down, stay within their lanes, and warn drivers about potential collisions. Companies around the world are even working to develop fully autonomous vehicles. That means, from the tiny three-wheeled motorwagen of 1885, we are moving toward a future where humans may not even need to drive cars themselves. But do you know what the most surprising part of automobile history is? The real secret of the automobile isn't hidden inside a single engine. It's hidden in human imagination. First, one person dreamed of a vehicle that could move without a horse. Then someone experimented with steam. Others developed new engines. Karl Benz used this emerging technology to create a practical motor vehicle. Bertha Benz proved that this vehicle could actually travel long distances. Then Henry Ford transformed the production process and made automobiles accessible to ordinary people. And generations of engineers continued improving the idea. In other words, today's automobile is the result of hundreds of years of dreams, experiments, failures, and innovation. So the next time you see a modern car driving down the road, remember, the story of that vehicle didn't begin today. Its roots go back to a time when people traveled in horse-drawn carriages and dreamed of a machine that could move on its own without a horse. That dream eventually gave birth to the first self-propelled vehicles. Then came Karl Benz's motorwagen, then Henry Ford's Model T, and today we are entering an era where cars are gradually gaining the ability to drive themselves. Let's end this story with one simple question. If Karl Benz's first automobile in 1885 marked the beginning of the future of transportation, could today's autonomous vehicles be the beginning of the next great revolution of the next 100 years? Perhaps we're already beginning to see the answer. Because the history of the automobile is not over yet. The next chapter of the automobile may be being written right now. End of video.